Hey, what's up? It's Privacy J here. It's time to continue my new iPad mini update. So, it's been a while. I haven't done doing it of my new iPad mini since a month for now. Because since the last update we talked about the the iPad mini 8 rumors. So, yeah. So, let's get on with today's topics about the iPad OS 27. The iPad OS 27 drops support for a wave of iPads. The iPad OS 27 cuts support for more iPad models than last year's iPad OS 26 did, with the older iPad Pro, the iPad Air, iPad, and the iPad mini models are all losing compatibility. The iPad OS 26 supported the iPad Air models from the third generation onward. The iPad OS 27 raises the floor to A14 M1 or later, cutting the third generation, the iPad Air model, from the compatibility list entirely. The iPad Pro also sees cuts. The iPad OS 27 retains support for the iPad Pro 12.9-inch from the third generation onward and the iPad Pro 11-inch from the first generation onward. The iPad OS 27 raises those models that were still supported just a year ago. From the standard iPad lineup, the iPad OS 27 drew the line at the 8th generation, having already dropped the 7th generation last year. The iPad OS 27 cuts the 8th generation as well, leaving only the 9th generation, the 10th generation, and the current A16 model as compatible. The iPad mini sees its oldest supported model bump from the 5th generation to the 6th generation, with the A17 Pro equipped Mini 7 is also included. The 5th generation Mini, which ran the iPad OS 27, will not receive the update. By contrast, the iPad OS 27 was relatively conservative call. It dropped only the 7th generation iPad from the iPad OS 18 compatibility list. The iPad OS 27 represents a considerably more aggressive pruning across the entire iPad lineup. Next topic, the 2024 iPad mini versus the 2026 iPad Air. Wait, hold on. Let me go search. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had give me 1 second. Hold on. Okay, I think I got this. We're gonna skip this one, not the iPad Air. Sorry. Let me see. My bad. The next iPad mini with OLED display, now rumored to feature a 20 Pro chip, as we mentioned earlier, like last year. So as I said, as post topics. The Apple's next generation iPad mini will be equipped with an A20 Pro chip or A19 likely, according to a Mac Rumors tipster who analyzed a macOS kernel debug kit containing internal Apple code names. The kit was accidentally released on the Apple's website earlier this year, but it was quickly pulled after information started leaking out of it. A previous rumor indicated that the next iPad mini will be powered by the A19 Pro chip, which debuted in the iPhone 17 Pro. But our tipster is confident the code names actually point towards the device using a unreleased A20 Pro chip. We cannot say for sure whether the next iPad mini will use the A19 Pro or A20 Pro. It is... let me see. Hold on. Oh, yes. It is possible that Apple initially tested a model with the A19 Pro chip. But the company's plan do change from time to time. If the iPad mini will be next updated in September or October this year, 2026, perhaps Apple ultimately decided to give it to the A20 Pro. In September 2021, Did I say it right? Oh yeah, I think I had. I think I did it already. I already read it. I'm not gonna read it again. So sorry. Sorry. Um. Hold on. Since I already read this, I had to skip this. So move along to today's topics. Um, there we go. What was I? Next iPad, next iPad Mini to feature A19 Pro chip. As I said earlier, um, Apple is working on the next generation version of the iPad Mini, codenamed J510, J511, that features an A19 chip, but now with A20 chip. So, according to an information found in code that Apple mistakenly shared, it looks like the next generation iPad mini will get the A19 Pro chip that Apple plans to use in the iPhone 17 Pro models. Apple's developing the A19 chips for the iPhone 17 series that's set to come out this last September. The Pro version of the A19 chip will have more GPU cores than the standard A19, and rumors suggest that there will also be an in between version that's a bin A19 Pro with one fewer GPU core. The bin chips could be used in the iPhone 17 Air, which is called the iPhone Air. The current iPad Mini that came out 2 years ago in 2024 is equipped with the A17 Pro chip that was used in the iPhone 15 Pro model, so it makes sense for the next generation version to adopt the A19 Pro. There is no concrete word on when a new version of the iPad mini is coming out. Rumors have suggested that Apple is working on an iPad mini with an OLED display for launch as of early 2026, but the launch timeline is unclear, and other rumors have suggested it won't come until 2027. Apple is working on an update version of the low-cost iPad with an A18 chip. According to the Apple's leak code name J581, J582, the low-cost iPad could launch next spring. Could launch in the last spring, which is this spring. So yeah. Move along to this one. What do I say? Hold on. I'm trying to check with my iPad mini update. Previously, before I say that. Mm, Let me check first. Oh yes. Um, Here, hold on. Did I say it right? Did I say it right? Okay, I didn't do that yet. Okay, I got you. Okay, so the OLED iPad mini release date. It's going to be released this year. So, according to the latest rumors, Apple is close to launching its next generation iPad mini. So, what should we expect from the successor to the iPad mini 7 that Apple released over a year ago? Read on to find out. Processor and performance. Apple is working on the next generation version of the iPad mini, codenamed J510, J511, that features the A19 Pro chip, according to information found in the code that Apple mistakenly shared in August. Apple's A19 Pro chip since debuted in the iPhone Air and the iPhone 17 Pro model. The iPhone 17 Pro models include the higher end version of Apple's A19 Pro chip with the A6 core CPU and the 6 core GPU, while the iPhone Air uses a mid tier A19 Pro chip within one fewer GPU core than the A19 Pro chip used in the iPhone 17 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro Max. If the code leak is accurate for the iPad Mini 8 Apple is likely to use the mid-tier A19 Pro chip found in the iPhone Air. This is based on the fact that the A17 Pro chip used in the iPad Mini 7 has a 6-core GPU with 2 high-performance cores and 4 efficiency cores along with the 5-core GPU compared to the 6-core GPU on the A17 Pro used in the iPhone 15 Pro. Apple built the A19 Pro chip on an upgrade third generation 3 nanometer N3P process mo- for modest speed and efficiency improvements. The chip includes a 16-core neural engine, next generation dynamic hatching, and unified image compression. The GPU in the A19 Pro has an upgraded architecture with a larger cache, more memory, and neural accelerators that are built into each core. Apple says this change provides 3 times 3 peak GPU compute over the prior generation chip. There's also an upgrade 16-core neural engine for AI tasks. There is an outside chance that Apple opts for the A20 Pro chip for the new iPad mini. The claim has been made by a Mac Rumors tipster who analyzed a macOS kernel debug kit containing internal Apple code names. However, the iPad mini has not always received Apple's newest A series chip at the time it was updated, so the A19 Pro cannot be ruled out at this time. The iPhone 18 Pro models are also expected to use the A20 Pro chip, which will reportedly be fabricated with TSMC's advanced 2 nanometer process. Display. Apple's plan to transition the iPad mini from an LCD to an OLED is widely rumored. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the small form factor tablet is likely to be the next Apple device to adopt OLED. According to a Chinese leaker with source in Apple's supply chain, Apple has evaluated a Samsung made OLED display for its next gen iPad mini model. It remains unclear whether the iPad mini 8 will feature a higher refresh rate than the 16 hertz LCD display used in the existing iPad mini 7, but since the new base iPhone 17 now uses a 120 hertz ProMotion panel, it would be reasonable to expect to see the same on the first OLED iPad mini. A separate report has suggested the iPad mini 8 screen could increase in size from 8.3 inches to 8.7 inches with the adoption of OLED. The OLED panels can individually control each pixel, resulting in more precise color reproduction and deeper blacks compared to the other common display technologies. They also provide superior contrast, faster response times, better viewing angles, and greater design flexibility of an Apple's flagship iPhones and use OLED panels. And in May 2024, the company brought the display technology to the iPad Pro for the first time. Unlike the Apple's iPad Pro models, which features two-stack low-temperature crystalline oxide LTPO OLED panels, the iPad Mini may have a single-stack low-temperature crystalline silicon LTPS panel, which would make it dimmer. Casus design. Apple is reportedly working to give the iPad Mini 8 a more water-resistant design. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the updated casing would bring protection levels closer to those of the iPhone, making the tablet safer for use in damp environments. To achieve this, Apple is said to have designed a new vibration based speaker system that eliminates the needs for traditional speaker holes by using sound imitating surfaces instead of open grills. The company can reduce potential entry points for water and dust, resulting in a more sealed, durable enclosure. On the iPhone, Apple relies on adhesives, adhesives and gaskets to shield speakers and other openings from moisture. The iPad mini's approach appears to go further, doing away with the holes altogether. Current iPad mini models lack any official IP rating, but the upcoming version could mark the first in the lineup to feature a certified level of water protection. Apple Pace Apple Passions could offer further clues to the new design direction. For example, a 2014 Passion outlines a magnetically actuated panel, acoustic system that vibrates flat surface to generate sound, effectively turning points of a device casts into a speaker diaphragm. This could potentially allow Apple to produce audio without visible speaker holes. The patient suggests Apple has been building towards a sealed vibration-based acoustic system for several years. The release date, according to research firm Omdia, the iPad Mini is expected to adopt an OLED display in 2027. However, Korea's EET News and ZDNet Korea have been suggested that the iPad Mini will be updated with an OLED display in this year, 2026. Bloomberg has also said the update could come as soon as this year in 2026. The most recent word on the subject comes with Weibo-based leaker Instant Digital, who claims the OLED iPad Mini will be launched in the second half of 2026 at the earliest. In May 2024, 2 years ago, it was reported that Samsung Display had started developing sample OLED panels for a future iPad Mini with plans to initiate mass production at its facility in Conan in the second half of 2025 last year. The same report claimed that Apple will bring an OLED panel to the iPad Air alongside the iPad Mini in 2026. Though Apple only refreshed the iPad Air in March, and more recent reporting suggests an OLED iPad Air will arrive in early 2027. The later outlook aligns with the December report by analysis analyst firm Display Supply Chains Consultants DSCC that said an 8.5-inch OLED iPad Mini is planned for a 2026 launch, while 11-inch and 13-inch OLED iPad Air models are expected to follow next year, following 2027 next year. Ultimately, there are no rumors suggesting exactly when the next iPad Mini will be released, but a launch later in this year in 2026 has a high probability. Pricing: the iPad Mini with OLED technology and improved water resistance is expected to be more expensive, and Apple could charge up to $100 more for the device. According to Bloomberg's Gurman, the iPad Mini is currently priced starting at $499. Gurman has previously argued that the Apple should consider a lower end version of the Mini, or at the least a change to its current $499 starting price, given that is up against rival products that cost a lot less. However, the Apple users who are looking for a more affordable option should probably consider the 10th generation iPad instead, starting at $329. The iPad offers many iPad mini features, such as Touch ID and Center Stage, but at a lower price that balance functionality and affordability. Okay, so anyways, that concludes for today's stream. So let me take a look. So yeah. Oh, okay. You can get that as an iPad Mini 7. No worries. Well, hopefully when the iPad Mini comes out, so I'll keep you updated for sure when the Apple officially update refresh the iPad Mini. So if the iPad Mini 7 was released in 2014, which is 2 years ago in October, so I'll keep you guys a heads up for that. Anybody in the communities, keep a clean so it could keep a chat. So let me know in the chat. We'll be begin. So yeah. Okay, so like I said before, that'll be it for today's stream about my new iPad Mini update. So I'll keep you guys more and more effective. The next update I'll talk about next week. So in the next topic. So remember, like and comment, subscribe, and let me know about it. So we're gonna subscribe to my 3 channels: Privacy J Productions 1, 2, and 3. And my content, all of my social medias, we'll let you know all about it. Facebook, my name is Jaden Garcia. Instagram is JTech727. Snapchat is Goods0727. Follow me on X, Privacy JNYC1. And follow me on TikTok, it's Privacy J Official, same name on Instagram. So remember, thanks for watching, and peace out.